Welcome. I'm Jackie Foster and I'm coming to you live from the Godly Playroom at Wetaskiwin's First United Church. And I'm happy to be here to share a story with you. It's one of those tough stories, but it has so much love with it. I wonder if you're ready for today's story. Today, you might want to be having a feast. And so if you want to get something ready to eat a little later, or you may have a response in your mind, some artwork or something that you might want to do in response to our story. If you want, you can take time to do that. We will be lighting our candle here. Maybe you want to light your own candle at home. Make sure it's a safe candle. If you need, use that battery operated one, please. So, I wonder if you are ready. I'm just about ready, but I think I need to take a few deep breaths. That always helps me to center. So let's take some deep breaths together. Let's light our candle. Once there was someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things that the people began to follow him. And when they were with him, they asked him so many questions. But one time they asked him, "Who are you?" And this time when they asked him that, he said, "I am the light." And I'm going to move the light up over on our shelf so that we stay safe this morning. Or this afternoon, whenever you find yourself watching this video. Today's story takes place in the desert. A lot of important stories for the people of God take place in the desert, and so we need to have a piece of the desert here with us. And this is our desert today. The desert is a dangerous place. People don't go into the desert unless they have to. Very little grows in the desert, and there is very little water. Without food and water, people die. The winds blow in the desert, and that changes the shape of the desert. People can get lost. Some never come out. When you go into the desert, you need to wear lots of clothing. The sun scorches down on you by day, and the blowing sand can sting your skins. But at night, it is bitterly cold, and you need warm clothing to keep you safe. The desert is a dangerous place, and people do not go into the desert unless they have to. The people of God have come through the waters into freedom. They are free. And Miriam has led the way dancer. people are free. They're free. What should they do now? Where should they go? What is the best way? God loved the people so much that God gave the people the 10 best ways to live. We sometimes call them the 10 Commandments. The people began their journey through the desert. They followed the fire by night and the smoke by day. They started to complain. There really wasn't enough food and water. Some even wanted to go back to Egypt. But God helped Moses to find food and water for the people. At long last, the people came close to Mount Sinai, the great mountain. The people came close to Mount Sinai, but they would not touch it. The mountain was covered with fire and smoke. And it was only Moses who was brave enough to go up to the top of the mountain and meet with God. And when Moses was at the top of the mountain, he came so close to God, and God came so close to him, that Moses knew what God wanted him to do. And God wanted him to write the 10 best ways on stone and bring them back to the people. God gave Moses the 10 best ways. Moses gave the people the 10 best ways. And the people give them to us. If you summarize the 10 best ways to live, they will tell you: love God, love people, and God loves us. Not just each one of us individually, but all of us together. Here are the 10 best ways. Don't serve other gods. Make no idols to worship. Be serious when you say my name. Keep the Sabbath holy. Honor your mother and father. Don't kill. Don't break your marriage. Don't steal. Don't lie. And don't even want what others have. These ways are hard. God never said they would be 10 easy ways. But we are supposed to try. They are to mark our way, like stones might mark a path. Now I wonder, what part of this story might you like the best?
I like that Moses went up the mountain even though it was fiery and smoky.
Yeah, he did.
I like Miriam dancing. I need somebody who makes me dance more.
I wonder what part of this story is most important.
Maybe that the stories were given to the people and the people kept giving them to more people.
So the God gave to Moses, Moses gave to the people, and the people give to us, and we share with others.
If our God had simply saved us, only brought us through the waters, it into freedom, new. I was just supposed to, that's a huge thing, right? And then, but God doesn't quit. There's still the fire and smoke in the wilderness, and there's the best ways to live, and yeah, it just keeps going. And I think how sometimes, I mean, maybe I do something and it's like, okay, well, that's enough. I don't need to do any more. That was enough. And that's not how God is. And I'm extremely grateful for that.
I wonder if there's any part of this story that is especially for you today.
Yes. I think when the people had to go into the desert and you don't want to go there unless you have to, And some people wanted to go back to where it was. And some people complained a lot. and even though they were free, they needed some rules. So I guess that's where I am with this story today.
Which is an interesting way to look at freedom, right? That in order to be free, there still needs to be some rules
Mm-hmm.
so that everybody can be free.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm wondering how I keep the Sabbath holy. Because so much has changed about worship and being church, and then it's something I always wrestle with in my own life simply because I work on everybody else's Sabbath. But so there is that always that, where do I find Sabbath? But how do we as a community of faith keep that holy when things are quite different? Not that we can't, but it puzzles me, wonders me. Yeah.
Times are definitely different now, that's for sure. Well, I think I'm going to get ready to put this story away now. And as I do, if you have something that you want to do in response to the story, now is a good time to find it. And also probably grab your feast, because we will be having a feast after we do a response time. So, the 10 best ways to live. This one's a tough one. Don't even want what others have. Don't lie. Don't steal. Don't break your marriage. Don't kill. Honor your mother and your father. Keep the Sabbath holy. Be serious when you say God's name. Make no idols to worship. Don't serve other gods. In summary, love God, love people, and remember that God loves us. The people of God, and Miriam, who led the dancing. Mount Sinai. Welcome back. I hope you found something to have a response today for your story. I know this week when I was thinking about the story, I went for one of my walks and I was thinking about stones and rocks, and I started looking at rocks as I was walking along my alleyway. And I have a neighbor that occasionally just throws out rocks into the alleyway, and this week, just actually yesterday, as I walked by, he had this pile of rocks there, and I thought, and I didn't know why, but I was drawn to this rock, and so I picked it up. I thought, this is what I'm going to use tomorrow. And then after I took it home and washed it and looked at it again, there is a natural, and I've kind of outlined it here, but there is a natural heart shape in this rock. And I just felt that that rock was speaking to me today. And so it just reminded me of our story. the summary of the 10 best ways. Love God, love people, and God loves us. So I'm going to take some time to paint this rock. And I know a while ago we were doing something through the Boys and Girls Club that was called Wetaskiwin Rocks. And people were painting rocks and leaving them on pathways to remind people that they are cared about and loved. And this just made me think, this story again reminded me that we are all to share that love in whatever way we can. And so I wanted to paint my rock today, and hopefully you will find something that is just as important to you. So I'm going to start painting and enjoying this rock that spoke to me. Never put too much paint on your out at once, because you can always add more. And remember that you should clean your brush between colors too, because sometimes your things don't look quite the same if you mash them all together. It might not be just what you want. But I'm going to just do some, whoops, I believe doesn't want to come out. So maybe we're not supposed to use blue today. That's okay. So, one thing that I've started to do when I go for my walks is really to look at things when I find them. Just like I took time to look at this rock. When I'm looking now, it's fall, and the colors are so beautiful that they're drawing me in. And they're reminding me of God's beauty in this world. So often we forget to really look and see all that's right there before us. All that God has to show us. And I believe that that's God just showing us how much He loves us when we see those colors and those different things. About a week ago I saw a spider web. And I actually sat down, or sat in the chair by where it was at a table, and really looked at it. And it's the beauty of a spider web, and the fact that a spider can create that was just, it was awestruck. It awestruck me. I was just amazed. And I think we just forget to look at the beauty in nature. Even when this rock spoke to me with its heart, I couldn't believe I found a heart in it. Love. Such a beautiful gift to all of us. When we feel love, we feel good. And when we feel good, we can pass that goodness on to others. That was the most important part of the story for me today. To remember to love God, to love people, and to know and always remember that no matter what, God still loves us. Everyone. I have a friend that paints rocks and shares them with other people. And she's painted some beautiful rocks, some that have told people to smile. She looked at a sunflower one day and it reminded her of just someone smiling at her. And she painted the most beautiful sunflower. when we take time to look at the beauty and to see the beauty before us, it can make us all smile. I've just about painted my heart, and I think I'll leave the rest for maybe a different time. And I hope that you guys have found something that spoke to you in today's story and have been able to respond well with it. Yeah, this rock spoke to me with that natural heart. But it reminded me as I was walking just how much we have in nature that we don't even see. And I thank God for it. It's going to be time to get ready for feast. So if you would like to clean up what you are working on and get ready for feast, I'll join you back in a minute. Welcome back, and I hope you have something to feast on today. Today I have a trail mix that I made to nibble on as we talk some more. But before we have something to eat, let's say our prayer. Loving God, we thank you that you are with us all at all times, and that you go with us even when we make our mistakes. Thank you for being with us here today and for the food that we have to share. Thank you for our time together. Amen. When I was doing my story today, I sort of thought how the people complained when there wasn't enough food. And then I thought about people who honestly don't have enough food and how hard that is, and how maybe we could learn to share just that little bit more. Because that's loving all people. I've been always lucky to have enough food. There was something hard in there. And it's always fun to make a little bit of something different today. So I combined some cereals and some raisins and some pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds. So that's what I made today. But yeah, I was thinking about that and how maybe we could all just remember that there are others that sometimes don't have enough food, and we could share. Because there's nothing worse than being hungry, really hungry. When I think about the story too, I think how hard those things are, but no matter what, we're supposed to try. And when we stop and try, it does make for a better world. So maybe we just have to think of those 10 best ways. More often, maybe. Or at least maybe I need to think of them more often. Not everyone might be like me. Let's just remember to be thankful for what we do have. And that God loves us, no matter who we are. All of us are loved. It's really hard eating in front of a camera. I shouldn't have picked this snack. Well, I think it's just about time to say goodbye and put our feast away and to change our light. So I'm going to put our feast away because it is hard to eat in front of everyone. I was happy to have Sherry along with me today, and Ruth, and all of you. But I think it's time to change our light. Right now our light is just here in this one place. But when we change the light, we'll see that the light doesn't just stay here. The light spreads out. Not only to fill this room, but to even come out to where you are, wherever you are. I thank you for spending time with us today. Remember to be safe and to be well.